3 reasons why you need hypnotherapy. The easiest way to reprogram your mind is through your subconscious. It's not like what you see on TV. It's more like a lovely guided meditation. It's 3 times more powerful than willpower alone. Trust your subconscious. It knows more than you do. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's a nice Thursday night, and I've got Jara here, my co-host, and my other one, Enzo. Hi,
Hello.
guys.
Man, you got up so people could see you have clothes on, darn it.
No one could see it. You just ruined it. I'm nude.
And we are having a new kind of a show tonight, everybody.
We need Enzo's porn one.
How are you, Enzo?
All right.
I'm doing quite well. Had my birthday last weekend with friends, and we went on a
happy birthday!
Oh, thank you. And then went on a paranormal investigation right afterwards, and had a lot of fun. It was a great way to spend my birthday.
How did that investigation go?
It was relatively quiet. The place we were at is called Baden Square. It's in a small town called Winfield, Kansas. It's part of their little college there. The particular building we were in is their main theater, and some of their administration offices or stuff are in that building. And as a lark, they kind of had during Halloween, they've had some strange sightings in the building, because I want to say the building was, the whole campus was done in the 1920s or something like that. I may have the date. I'm sure it was a little while ago, about 100 years old. And they have had sightings up on the stage area, which back when that building was originally built was actually the campus chapel kind of a
really?
thing. So their what they use for their auditorium kind of area now, where they do plays and things like that, that was their main chapel area that everyone would go for church on Sundays. So we didn't see there's been sightings over the years of kids running around where you can see their feet underneath of because they have different layers of curtains that go across the stage, a giant stage like that, where they can see the feet underneath of the curtain, where it's only comes a few inches from the floor, but there's nobody there. When somebody looks around the corner, there's nobody there, that kind of thing. There's what they believe is a handyman that worked there many years ago that hangs up in the projection booth type area where the lighting and the soundboard and all that stuff is. And there's other things like that. For us, there wasn't a whole lot there. Everything that we did encounter was kind of really low energy for some reason. Don't quite understand why. We would like to go back at a different time frame, because it just seemed like everything we did see, we'd start to get a little interaction, and then it would just fade off to nothing.
That's
some interesting, because since we knew it was the chapel kind of area, we did some experiments up on the stage area there towards the end, because we stayed till about 1 a.m. Where we just had someone's phone playing older gospel type music, and through our various spirit boxes and things like that, we were getting simple one word kind of responses to it, but it was all very positive, where they loved the old gospel songs that we played. So out of curiosity, we're what if we play something that's not a gospel song? So they ended up playing Crazy Train from Ozzy Osbourne, and the first one word right out was evil. That's right.
Really? So what is the spirit box again?
There's various different types of spirit boxes, where it's just a small device that it monitors, it scrolls through radio stations in the area.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And it's one of those kind of things. One of our people there's a different one that has 200 or 300 preset words already built into it, and it says it in kind of like a robotic kind of voice. But I guess they don't make that one anymore, so I forget what it's called. There's an actual name for it. But that we were getting a lot of responses out of that, kind of all night. Versus like we had some odd Estes session things that occurred where it would be super active, and then just dead, just nothing.
Like what kind of things was it saying, or was it
kind of random things that we did actually have to stop one where the person that was wearing the headset and the blindfold and all that stuff, we're like, they're of course just repeating what they hear coming out of the spirit box.
Right.
It's that, the radio thing, and they get like, stop, you stop now. And she realized it wasn't that they were saying it, because usually there's another person speaking that person isn't interacting at all. They're just repeating what they hear coming over the spirit box.
Uh-huh.
This was directed at them, telling them to stop what they were doing. And she was like, woohoo, I'm done. She like takes the headset off, and which has never happened. This person has done a lot of these over the years and been very
that's scary.
And she was like, nope, I am done. So
really?
But picked up on some specific names through some of those that we're going to do research, go through the old files to see if this person really existed, to see maybe if they died in the area or that kind of stuff. So it wasn't like, there wasn't stuff going crazy all over the place or anything like that at all. Just but when we did see some things or did experience some things, there was a little significance to it. So we'll probably go back at some point.
That is so cool, Enzo.
I think you just made me have a flashback of a dream I had. I just had this flash of something.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know if that was a dream, or I just had this flashback of somebody was walking down the hall with me, and we were talking about they were like paranormal. It was like a hospital, and like each room had like a different type of paranormal activity going on or something. And they said to me, this is the room with the banger or something. And there was all this banging and we were outside the room. And there was all this banging happening. Like somebody was inside the room banging on the wall. But when we peeked our head around, when you said that about the curtain, I just had that vision. I think we peeked around through the door, and there was like nobody in the room. But it was like when we were like looking in there, it was like banging, like somebody was in there banging, but there was like nobody in there. That's weird.
That's creepy. Yeah.
Oh, is that a show I did? Why did I just see that? That's weird. I don't even. I don't remember having that.
I don't know.
I've heard stuff like that when I was up at the McIntyre Villa earlier this year, which is a very famous haunted house here in Kansas, and they were gonna do. Because we had several different groups of people. Don't get me wrong, they're all great people, all that, but they were doing things that I was not familiar with at all, being a UFO guy. But they were setting up a Ouija board. They were going to do a Ouija board experiment. And as they're setting it up and describing it, we started hearing really loud banging from the next room, which was the kitchen. We were like in the dining room area. I mean, and it was loud. It was like someone had a hammer and was just mashing it on like the cabinets in there over the sinks and stuff. Just bam.
That's scary.
Really, really loud. Yeah.
That doesn't scare you? Like you don't get scared when something like that happens?
Well, not really. I mean, because I saw like a shadowy thing at one point. I certainly saw like a gray mist, kind of maybe a person walking by at one point, because you're in the dark most of the time, stuff like that. So you see things out of the corner of your eye. They had like a cat kind of thing that I saw that one there in the house. Usually it's unless I'm like physically in danger, I'm not going to be like Scooby-Dooing out of there, running out or anything like that. But it was pretty interesting stuff. But and curiously enough, to finish the story, they started in doing the Ouija board. Nothing happened. The board, that planchette never moved. Nothing happened. Nobody felt. They said that they could feel like a vibration in the board itself, an electrical current for people that were actually touching the board. But that was it. There was no interaction at all.
That's weird. See, and I thought that Ouija boards work off of like energy from the people too, though. Like kind of like what's that game called? Oh, the game where you make the ball like go up with your mind, Mind Flex, or I
Oh,
think it's called Mind Flex. I thought Ouija boards are like that, like because you can like your thoughts are energy, right? So like if I'm holding a necklace or whatever and I ask it a question, or I think or tell the necklace to like change directions, like you can do that
oh yeah.
without moving your hand. So like I thought that Ouija boards work like that. So I thought that they read the energy of what the thoughts of the people. So like if you're putting your hand on it and you're thinking an answer, it will move to that answer or whatever.
Right. Yeah,
So
stuff like that. It's
weird that it didn't move at all. I think
stuff
that's
like
weird.
that is called like divining or dowsing. Like actually,
Yeah.
a couple of people last weekend at Winfield, they had dowsing rods, and I guess you have like your rods. You don't. Yep, there's a crystal for dowsing and stuff, and they'd get like a couple of response, where you've got the two rods, and it's like, okay, if you can hear us, if this is your name, try and cross the rods, stuff like that. We'd get like one response, and then it was just like it just didn't have enough juice. Whatever it was just really low energy, and it couldn't really do a whole lot after like one instance, one interaction. Whatever it was there. So it was tired out, I guess, from holidays.
I wonder what effect like 5G and other frequencies and stuff from our electronics. I wonder how that interferes with like paranormal stuff. Like if it messes with ghosts, like if ghosts are like, damn that 5G, like it makes us blurry. Or
well,
it like makes them.
There are some people that believe you can bring like an energy generating type device that like energizes the area, and then you might get better responses, that kind of thing. And
I think that would make sense, actually. Don't you? Like, I think it would. I think that's what CERN does. I think CERN is just like a giant Ouija board, basically. Portal opener, like, I don't know.
Sure.
They're, because you start messing, weird stuff happens when you start messing with, stuff.
Messing with things you don't know anything about, weird things are going to happen.
Like, I wonder, if I got a magnet, how like when you touch the sides that are opposing or whatever, how they pushes each other apart. Like if you force magnets to, like if you force it, or can you do that? Or can you like put two, so there's like an opposing force, and then like shoot one in the middle and it would like shoot out because it, can you like make like a gun with magnets
That actually the Navy's been having a lot of successful workings with like mag rifles, and basically it's a magnetic gun where it's got a series of magnetic coils, and they energize this one, which pushes like the bullet a little bit, and then there's another one that it pushes it faster, where you're getting it's pushing out this bullet, or which some of them are really big. This is like to fire on other ships. This isn't like a gun. And it gets giant velocities without any recoil. There's no, like when you shoot a gun, there's recoil from an explosion of the chemicals, which causes the bullet to go out this way, and then it pushes back on you. There's when you're using magnets like that, there's practically no recoil for it. So you can just once you're on target, you can just keep lobbing those bullets right at the same target over and over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. You'd think that there'd be, I don't know. There's all kinds, they're probably doing all kinds of stuff with that already.
Oh yeah. The limiting factor on that is it costs a lot of energy, to do that kind of stuff. It's a lot of energy you got to go into it.
Because a magnetic field can change the shape, it can change the shape of water and everything, right? Like if magnetic fields are nothing to mess with. Why don't we have our freeways should be built like that? Why don't they use magnets for cars instead of gasoline?
Actually, that's actually one of Elon Musk's plans with the future of his electric cars is to build. And this, to be fair, this idea has been around for a while. But as I said earlier, it's very expensive. Plus, you got to rip up all the roads, and then
Right.
put in these new devices
Right.
that would have like some kind of like a coil wire thing that has to have constant energy 24/7 for people to drive on it.
You
All
wouldn't have
that where
accidents as much though if it could keep people on the right, you know what I mean? Like if you could like program your road or whatever, and it would just keep everybody
right.
automatically on the right
It
thing.
and you could have you would have that with computer and GPS and all that stuff where you was like, take me to this street, and you would just sit there. And that's, I mean, like GPS is like, because we talked a little bit, I think, a couple of weeks ago about Elon's new rollout of his robots and the new cars he has,
Yeah.
which don't even have a steering wheel. You just get in and simply, Siri, take me to, 123 Fake Street,
Oh,
and it,
so weird.
yeah, I'm gonna get one just so I can go out to the bar every night. And then let it
Right?
drive me around.
I'd be freaked
That'd
out
be,
though.
it's
What if it
just
just
always
go
like
into a brick wall?
there's always a threat of it being hacked, like that's the thing that
And it's certainly not perfect. There was a story a few years ago of some of those things where a tractor trailer pulled out in front of it when it was getting ready to make a turn onto the highway or onto the road. And the trailer itself was like this gray color, and it was like late afternoon and it was overcast. So it thought the gray trailer was just part of the sky, and it drove right into the side of it, that kind of stuff.
oh. Hi there,
There was
Jimmy.
one
How are
time.
you there, sir?
Hey guys, how are you doing?
How's it
Okay.
going?
I
We
was
are
going to say
doing
there's
pretty
this
good.
one time that all of those cars, they all decided to go to the same place because something happened in the program, and they were all like all trying to park together, and it was really weird.
Like in that movie, what's that movie called? When all the cars do that, like on the freeway or whatever. That could totally happen.
Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, Maximum Overdrive. That was it.
Oh no, the one that just came out with Julia Roberts, Leave the World Behind. Like
Leave the world.
that one,
I
all the
haven't seen
cars
that.
were. Yeah, it's a weird movie too. Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know. That's why it makes me nervous. Like they have that whole Internet of Things, everything being all connected, and then they gonna wanting to put chips in people and stuff like that. And it's like, what if they just decided to like hack people's body chips one day?
True.
And was like told everybody just to start hurting people or something.
You need a better password than 123.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Isn't there like some kind of a fail safe where like all AI has to take something from people? It has to take, it can't, because if there's not a fail safe, then we're definitely gonna be eaten by our own inventions. Because if we create something and tell it to make something more efficient or something work better, it's gonna realize that people are the problem, because we're always the problem, because people suck, kind of.
It's like you said
And-
earlier. If they're going to realize that the people are the ones that are making it not work well, so they're going to eliminate the people.
Right.
That's crazy, dudes.
We're not logical, whereas they are. And if you program like an AI to not be logical, it gets diabolical quick. It doesn't know how to handle that, or these are very undefined rule sets you're trying to put into it. So it's difficult for them to master it.
Hey, Jimmy, what do you think that there's an effect on paranormal stuff from the signals and things that we get from our electronics today? Like,
Well, there's a lot of groups out there that believe that 5G does mess with the instruments and things like that, which you gotta think a lot of our equipment that we use is radio waves. I mean,
right.
and I know a lot of former and current investigators in the cryptid field believe that one of the reasons why a lot of sightings are by power lines is because of these cryptids can feel the energy coming from the lines themselves, and they're kind of drawn to the paths where they're at. So, yeah, I'd say it has a lot of effect.
I have a slightly different theory on that, because I agree with what you just said, but because they also have, like with UFOs, there's a lot of reports of them around nuclear power plants. I kind of think like you said with the power lines and around nuclear power plants for UFOs. I think that it's there's energies there we don't quite understand that make them more visible to us. I think they're always there, but we're not always aware of each other, kind of in another dimensional space or something, whatever, however you want to say it, out of phase or whatever Star Trek tech lingo you want to use. That when you see them on there around areas where there's a strong magnetic field or different energies like at a nuclear power plant, that allows us to see them a little clearer, I think.
Yeah, don't they say, aren't there more sightings too around volcanoes? Because volcanoes also put off like an electromagnetism and
yeah, there's an enormous amount of energy there. And Hada, that one time was abducted by aliens. How you doing there?
Hi there. Yeah, that one time, man. That's, I don't know. I think kind of like you, Enzo. I think a lot of that stuff is everybody's kind of talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think that some of our technology can bring things, and I think some of our technology.
Well, it's scientifically proven that, everything from the paper that you would hold in your hand to the ink that you would use in a pen gives off a frequency. Everything has its own frequency.
Right.
And there's just other things out there that can pick the frequencies up better than what a human could, or even by technology. So
anything can pick
there's
it up
a lot
better
of
than
things
us.
I believe that are attracted by UFOs. So
I heard that if they can, like, matching something's resonant frequency makes it fall apart. Is that true? Have you guys heard that? So like there's somebody that that people, that's how there's been people that have used sound. They've figured out what tumor, like cancer, resonates at, and they use the sound, and it makes the tumor fall apart. Or there's like weapons. I don't know if this is true or not, but like military weapons that can do that make like the ground liquefy basically, because so that's very scary to know that people know that and use it.
They certainly have, I don't know about the ground liquefying, but they certainly have stuff that can affect your anatomy. The brown note, a very specific thing that would make you poop your pants.
The what?
They have one of those?
The brown note.
Yeah.
The brown note?
It's a frequency that is given off by military weaponry that will make a person poop their pants.
Oh no. That's embarrassing.
It's being named the brown note.
Yep.
Do you think it works? Do you think it like?
Oh,
do you
yeah,
think they use
it? It's a thing.
There's a lot of weaponry out there that the military uses to this day that have different frequencies for different things to happen to a person physically.
So. Wow. Well, I know there's been tales or like there's stories of people that were like dancing plagues. Have you guys heard about that? Like back a long time ago, where they just danced until they died. I think stuff like that can be caused by them playing or like that. What's that? The piper. Maybe that's where that fairy tale comes from. Like we're playing it.
Could be. Could be.
I think all fairy tales that we have a basis in reality for sure.
Oh yeah.
I actually agree with you. Even as far as like ancient tales of the fae and little demons and angels, and everything going back 1,000 years, I feel is all interdimensional stuff that is like kind of slowly creeped in and then slowly creeps out. Maybe not necessarily intentionally. It's just one of those instances where there are certainly places on this earth where there's way more, supernatural type activity than others. You've got your places where your Brown Mountain Lights, you've got your Mount Shasta has like all of it. Your Skinwalker Ranch has all of it. As my friends down in Caney, Kansas, they get all of it. They get all the crazy stuff down there too. So it's a lot of there's something I think some of that has to do with like the geology of the area. Like if there's a lot of quartz in the bedrock, like that's near the surface, and there's also seems to be a connection like with my friends down in Caney because they're all born, raised there, and have seen weird shit their whole lives. Everything from Bigfoot to cryptids that aren't Bigfoot, the UFOs to ghost activities, spook lights, all of this stuff, all happening within this general like 40, 50 mile radius area. And they do have an area like just west of the town that's geologically, it's got a lot of like when back in the day when glaciers move down, and as they move, they pick up chunks of soil and rock here, and then it gets, as it melts, it deposits it somewhere else. They've got this huge wetlands area just west of their town that's loaded with quartz there, and that combined with the water running over it may produce some odd frequencies. And last year they went through a drought where, I mean, they were that river that runs through their area, that's where the town gets the water from, where they were rationing water. They were having to import water from other places. You couldn't take a shower or do laundry or have a car wash or any of that other stuff there in town. And during that time frame, during that whole thing, almost no strange activity was reported. Earlier this spring, they started getting heavy spring weather. The shift in the weather patterns as spring rolled around earlier this year, they started getting a lot of water, and crazy stuff started popping back up again.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah, it does make sense. I think that now this part of like our timeline, or this part of history or whatever that we're in right now, is probably the least magical it's ever been. Like, I think that like magic and stuff like that was like normal, back in, there probably wasn't really I don't know, there wasn't a paranormal, because there was just like, it was something that was natural. It was ghostly, but you know what I mean?
Right.
But it wasn't.
There was a time period, hundreds of years ago, the Native American culture is big into that, where these are just natural parts of the world around us.
Right.
But the European take is anything that's outside of this scope is evil. It's all the devil. It's bad. It's all these things. So it depends on where you're at and how you interact with it, I guess. So.
Well, even back, I mean, I think though that people like in Europe, they believed in like fairies, and they believed in, that
was part of their culture there. I mean,
right.
I think culturally it has a lot to do with the influence on how people are, what they believe in, what they don't believe in. So
it's just weird how in this day and age, like the mainstream tries to convince us all how all that's fake. But yet every culture has like stories of the same things.
Guys, I'm sorry, I've got a little visitor here in my lap. He won't be still. He's
cute.
Glued to me. He's glued to me. I love him to death.
That's how Susie's cats are like that too. They like to put their butts in her face also.
He'll sit on my head. It aggravates me. He'll just wants to look out the window, and where I sit, there's a window. And he'll sit with like his butt up against the back of my head, and I'm constantly have to fight with him to keep his butt up in my head.
That's funny. Oh, he loves you. What kind of dog is he?
Cute.
He's a pit, but he was the runt of the bunch, so he's full grown. He's over a year old now, and he hasn't got any bigger. Oh. Here, Oreo. Look here.
Oreo, perfect.
Hi, buddy. Yep, hi, dear pal.
Say hi to everybody.
So cute. I know. I think Susie's cat wants to wear my skin. Her cat makes me.
No, now you're not climbing up me. Come on. It's time to get down. There you go.
How funny.
Lay down. Get off, CC.
Where's my grand dog? Oh, she's over there. I have a grand dog. I'm a grand. She's my grand dogter. So we were going to talk about weird laws that are on the books, and I did actually find I found a Fox News article that has a bunch of different laws that are current and weird.
Since you have brought up weird laws, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Kentucky has one here, which of course is not endorsed anymore because it's a strange law. You can't beat your wife on a Sunday evening on the front of the court lawn without getting a ticket.
No, so it has to be
Yep.
on a Saturday.
It's got to be on a
That's right.
Saturday. As long
Monday
as it's
through
not on
Saturday, it's
Sunday,
okay.
you're safe.
And that's actually something that's common throughout all these like weird laws, especially is they were called blue laws, where it was depending on where you lived on Sunday, the holy day, you couldn't do very specific things. You know, you on Sunday, like I remember somewhere, I can't remember which state, you couldn't buy or consume cornflakes for whatever reason, and on a Sunday, you know, you
that's
couldn't
funny.
you know, you couldn't have ice cream. You're various things that you know, whoever the local religious leaders were in those areas decided that this is sinful to have something as delicious as cornflakes. I guess I don't know what that is.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have a good in Colorado. You may not use upholstered furniture outside. So
Wow.
no person shall
That's-
keep, use, or store upholstered furniture outside unless that furniture is specifically manufactured for outdoor use. So no putting
I
your
hope they
couches
don't-
outside.
I hope they don't enforce that, because there'd be a lot of people that would be in trouble. That's for sure.
Right?
I
have
ran
one that
across
Jara
that one
will
as
like.
well, where you know, the gist of it is that they don't want you keeping the old sofa on your front porch and junking up the area and the
Yeah.
neighborhood and all that
Right.
stuff. Plus, in Colorado, wildlife encroaches pretty easily, so you could, you know, may wake up to find a bear hanging out on that you know, couch in the morning. You know,
Exactly.
in the neighborhood.
Here's another
Jara,
one.
I have one
go
that
ahead.
you will like. Let me tell you this one, Jara.
Okay.
Okay, so in Milan, it's legally required to smile at all times,
Hey,
except when attending a
I'll
funeral.
be right back. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Except for when attending a funeral or when visiting someone in the hospital. It's legally required to smile at all times.
That's awesome. Huh.
Legally
That's
required
pretty
to
good.
smile.
Yep, you got
That's got to be creepy.
Yeah, I know, huh? Everybody's all like that movie Smile. Maybe that's what that
Yeah.
movie's about.
maybe.
In California, you can't eat frogs that have died in frog jumping competitions. So
I saw that one.
That's
That's-
hilarious.
In
Yeah,
again, one of those blue laws in Alabama, it is illegal to wear a fake mustache that causes laughter in a church.
Oh, but fake mustaches always cause
That's
laughter.
really specific, though. But
Right?
again,
What
that's
if
yeah.
it's a real mustache and it causes laughter?
Praise Jesus. Go to
Exactly.
jail.
That's funny. Oh,
But
this is a
again,
good one.
that's one of those examples of those blue laws where it's like,
Yeah.
hey, you can't be laughing at church because the guy wear a funny mustache.
That's funny. So I guess in Arkansas, they have a law that addresses the pronunciation of the state name.
That's true.
So
It's absolutely true. It is
They-
against the law to mispronounce it as Arkansas.
yeah.
Oh, it's against the law?
Yeah.
They are very hot about that because
Yep, it
it's
says
and I
Arkansas is
understand that.
pronounced this way, Arkansas.
But if you look at how it's spelled, it's AR Kansas.
Right.
What
So
is this, Arkansas?
yeah, that lady just poking at the screen. You're wrong. Why are you doing this? That is a great video.
Arkansas.
That's funny. Huh. It's
You
like,
got-
how did, who thought of these weird laws and like, I don't know. It's just weird that people would even go through what they go through.
Like
to put
Kenzo brought up, it's just a lot of it has to do with, I believe it's just, I mean, the churches and things that because of the blue laws, you know, you can't do this on Sunday and things like that. I've read some way far out there laws, I'm sure, that are not enforced and probably haven't been enforced in like 50 years or more.
Right.
Right.
Well,
there's one in
there's laws that are super duper important laws right now that aren't enforced at all.
Yeah, exactly.
I think in Texas you can shoot a man on your trespassing on your property, but not in the back.
Right, because they can't be running away, I think. Is that what it is?
Hello, Bat Mom.
You also can't have chickens crossing the road in Georgia. So
Oh,
why
wow.
did the chicken cross the street? Yeah, because he wanted to break the law if he was in Georgia.
I got one in
It's
the
so-
1940s in Connecticut. Pickles must bounce to be considered safe for human consumption.
Wow.
What? Pickles must bounce?
Yeah, I could see
So-
them lining up the basketball team. Now, guys, if this doesn't bounce,
The
it's gotta
dribble,
go.
yeah.
It's
This
illegal.
unusual rule comes from a story dating back to the 40s when officials wanted to ensure the quality and freshness of pickles sold in the state. They devised a test. If the pickle doesn't bounce when dropped from a certain height, it isn't fresh enough.
Huh? Are pickles ever fresh? Because are they fresh? Because they're
Well, I mean, I guess if it's only been sitting in the brine for a week, it's still a cucumber with a salty outside. But
right?
Exactly.
Huh? Well, I hope they washed the floor that they were bouncing the pickles on.
You know, Enzo, you should be doing voice acting. Your voice is perfect.
That's what I agree with him. I agree with you, Jimmy. I do. I agree.
I certainly have the face for radio. I've been told that many times.
You actually have the look for TV too, I think. I
Yeah.
think you would be a really good TV host. Like you would be a great like show
all the way
host.
around, and so you got it all.
I agree.
It's illegal
I can
to wash
see
your
you.
neighbor's car in Los
I can see Enzo with his own show.
I
Yeah, or
could
a
do.
podcast. You ought to look into doing podcasts, sir. I mean, I'm telling you, you got the
He's on
perfect
like 50 of
voice
them.
for it, and
There is a long range plan for that, where I'm working on buying a van where I'm going to be traveling around the country, going to strange, anomalous spots,
awesome.
and doing a little show on those. That's the plan. And
That would
maybe the occasional just Friday night hangout, have a drink with my friends, kind of a thing.
Oh, and you know what? When you get your vision, you'll have to tell me like where you're at so that I can look at Google Earth so I can tell you if there's anything cool that's right around where you're at that you could go take.
I got my book. Oh, I got to throw it up.
Your your
My UFO hotspots.
Oh,
It has
cool.
places all mapped out.
Sweet.
I got like 8 different books of paranormal hotspots, be that cryptids or ghosts or UFOs or stuff. UFOs is kind of more in my bag, but I'm open to investigating all of them. I've got sacred places of North America, 108 different places. All of them have, paranormal stuff associated with them.
You know what's interesting is a lot of petroglyphs. In my opinion, they look I found these ones on Google Earth the other day that they look like, I don't know, that looked like alien or something. Whatever they were drawing, it was weird. It was not, didn't look like regular people. And it was very well. It didn't look like it was done by somebody that couldn't draw. It just
Right.
looked like they were drawing something that we
I've
don't know.
seen
what it
the
is.
ones that you're talking about. I think they're in Arizona, and some of the heads on some of them kind of look triangular,
or elongated.
bulbous, elongated with horns, some without
The-
horns, things like
The
that.
ant.
Or they
the
have
ant
these
people,
Triangle shaped bodies.
triangle shaped bodies, or they have like it's wearing a necklace with many like things on it or something, and then there's like strings like from things. So I don't know if there's something like pulling stuff up, or if they're like, I don't know what the like the lines like, and it looks like in some of them it looks like the deer flying through the air or something. I'm like, what is going on?
Marionettes
Like,
or something.
Yeah, it's like, what were they trying to draw exactly? But there's the one in I think it's on the San Juan River, near the San Juan River somewhere. I think it's in New Mexico maybe, but it looks real alien, like, and it's really, really carved into the rock really well. So I don't know, I was just trying to think, what is that? Like, it looks, one of the things looks like a Nintendo controller. Like, it looks like the controller of like a Nintendo or something. I was like,
Wow.
what that is. Yeah, it's weird. There's all kinds of weird stuff that doesn't seem tribal, and giant birds eating people. I see that a lot too.
Giant birds, yeah. They
That-
do have a lot of giant
That Caney, Kansas area I was talking about, they have a lot of pterodactyl sightings there.
Oh yeah,
Oh, really?
Thunderbird
cool.
sightings.
Yep.
I believe in that because I see shadows a lot, or I've seen that, I don't know, a few times. It seems like a shadow like flew over me. I don't know what it was, but that's happened to me a few times.
Yeah, I've
Enzo
seen
has
very
that.
big shadows too fly over me.
You'll have to take your what's it called book with you, Enzo. Your
Mhm.
petroglyph book too when you go.
That's right. I've been doing
Yeah, because I
research.
think that all
Those
these
it's funny in
aliens.
those petroglyphs, you can see like common figures they use for like people in their tribe. They're all in a very specific, they're drawn a very specific way. But then you'll see other entities that they draw that are very different. So it's
Yeah.
obviously not part of their what they normally consider as regular people they see all the time. It could be indicative of like a stranger that comes in from very far away, just to make that indication. But some of them look really weird.
Right? Well, and like the things in Petra, like on the what they call the treasury, like some of the carvings on that building like are weird too. It's like it looks like a heart flying with wings, but no like body. It's just weird.
Hmm.
There's weird depictions of things, and I think that I don't know. We should figure out why that is. I don't know. I don't know why. Like
It's for stuff like that, it's kind of difficult because there's no written you can't go to like the book of all these ancient things because a lot in that world, of course, it's all done verbally from throughout the generations and stuff like that. And somebody that looks like me can't really go up asking questions about it as much as I'd like to. But
right. Yeah,
Since,
I don't know.
since
It's
I'm on
interesting.
here and Enzo has brought UFOs and things up, Enzo, what's your thoughts on all this UFO stuff that's going on with the Pentagon, all the whistleblowers and things like that?
well, as it just happens to be, next week they're having another congressional meeting to talk about that. I think it's next Thursday, I think. Wednesday or Thursday. The 13th, I think, whatever day that is. But my overall opinion on it is from what we have seen so far, other than actual military pilots telling their specific story of, hey, I saw this weird thing. Here's like a radar image sort of it, which is just a fuzzy blob. They have some interesting stories, but that's kind of all that we have. During the last big one where you had David Grush in there, where he says, hey, they've got, the government's hiding this from you, that they've got backward engineering programs, they've got crash UFOs, they've got they got bodies, they got all these things. I can go back almost 30 years and listen to any random week of programming of Art Bell and hear the exact same thing with just as much evidence. It's just a story.
I agree.
If we're going to get to the congressional level, story time's over. We need to, if they come in
Wait, so what is it?
okay,
What are they doing? Are they trying to prove, like, what is the hearing part? Like, is there a party that is saying that they are covering something up and there's a party saying, no, we're not?
It's not even a party. It's just that there are parts of the government above that are within congressional purview, because the Congress approves all the money for all this stuff. They say, they allocate X billion dollars to the military for things that are just a code number. They don't know what it's going to. They don't know what it's going for. They could be building, they could have a whole Stargate program where they're going to different planets and fighting aliens and doing all that other stuff. All it is a number on a piece of paper to them. And the thought is, even if we go back like to the super basics and say, okay, they actually recovered debris from the Roswell crash in 1947. So many years later, 60 years, 75 years later, they should have gleaned certain knowledge from that where they can utilize it. New power sources, free energy kind of a thing, amazing, like defense shields or armors or all these things. We're not seeing it flying around in our military spaces where, like, if somebody's got it, they're not utilizing it either because it's too expensive or materials just are not on hand to make whatever it is, some exotic fuel that we can't even make, that kind of thing. It's kind of like the example I usually use is, Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. And when he came to the Bahamas, it was the Bahamas he landed in first, not North America proper. And when he came ashore with his little Spanish flag to say, this is for the Queen of Spain, I discovered a place, even though there's already people here. Let's take some back home as slaves. That's a whole other topic. Say they found a crashed, relatively intact F-22 fighter with no pilot. They gathered up all the pieces and parts under the, his 3 ships. What is it? The Nina, Pinta, and the Santa Maria. They carted it back. How long from that point, 1492, till they could build another flying F-22? That's the level of technology that we're having to deal with. Even if we found something in 1947, we had just learned to crack the atom, and still we're using propeller-driven aircraft at that time for World War II and stuff like, and using radio technology. That's a far cry from interplanetary travel or even interdimensional travel. If it's
so, does our government say that they do acknowledge things, or they don't?
The thing is, there are groups of people that have all of these stories, much like we've heard on our bell from 30 years ago, of, hey, they're hiding this from you. And actually, this was the right tack to go with Congress, where people that are in the Congress, people that run for public office and make it all the way to Washington, they have a certain elevated opinion of themselves and their importance. Basically, they have giant egos. If you go up and tell them, hey, you know that these people over here have UFO tech and they're using it and they're not telling you about it, and you're just giving them billions of money. Did you know that? That can't be. I am on this military approval thing. I would know that. Oh, no, you don't, because they're using it right now. Here's a pilot from one of your own guys, F-18 squadron, that says that he encountered this tic-tac thing, and it totally outperformed his vehicle that he was flying in, and they had no way to. He tried to lock onto it, and it broke the lock, which international law is actually a declaration of war. They could have fired on it if they wanted to, but they broke the signal lock on it. So, and just kind of drifted away and did whatever they wanted. They were unable to stop or even pursue that. We are severely outclassed in that story. That's not a good thing.
Right.
Because if that belongs to some foreign government, we're doomed.
But did that actually happen? Or is that what you're saying, that it's just guys, it's just a story and there's no documentation about it?
That's the thing is, almost 99.9% of everything that falls under the supernatural umbrella, your ghost stuff, your cryptid stuff, your UFO stuff, it's almost all of it is anecdotal. There's not a whole lot of evidence. Bigfoot people got a whole cabinet full of plaster casts. UFO people have a lot of blurry lights in the sky. Ghost people have strange voices on tape that if you happen to listen to it in just the right way, may be able to pick out some words, things like that. So as far as, are there secret parts of the government that are keeping things hidden from the Congress what they don't know anything about? Probably, yes.
I'm sure they are.
A lot of this boils down to the intelligence agencies, your CIAs, your FBIs, your stuff like that, those other mysterious 3-letter agencies. They don't view congressional members. They especially don't view the president as anyone they have to answer to, because from their purview, they're just going to be there a few years and then they're going to be gone. They'll get caught sleeping with an intern and get kicked out of office or something stupid like that. So we're certainly not going to trust them with, we've got alien spacecraft and bodies or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's kind of, there's the intelligence agencies that's kind of at the root of all of this, are keeping things hidden from elected officials that would be able to make decisions for the rest of us. That's their position. That's what they're supposed to do. They're our representatives. Exactly.
Anything that comes out, though, is only going to be, it's going to be information that they are wanting to, like, that they're willing to allow us to know.
Well,
So-
like Enzo said, a lot of it is just stories. Even in the cryptid field that I was in before, if everybody has a story, everybody has it. Every Joe, Dick, James, Henry has a story, but they don't have the hard physical evidence to back the story up. Even
Right.
if you did have a sighting and you were the only person there, it's still a story without hard evidence.
Right.
Stand up.
But
When
I
it
mean, like,
comes to-
I think that there's an agenda behind why they're even having congressional hearings, because I think if they were legitimately, if there were people that were really wanting us to know and people that really cared about the truth, that it wouldn't be like, I don't think that they're ever going to tell like the real truth. Like, aliens might come from inside the earth. Maybe there's like a gate or a portal or something, and maybe they don't come from the sky because they're telling us they come from the sky, but they have to be like lying about things a little bit.
It all
Before
really
humanity.
boils down to that hard evidence. If you don't have the hard
Right.
evidence to back it up, it's
Right.
just a story. Everybody has a story.
Why do you think we don't have any hard evidence of anything, like at all, like ever yet in history? Why do you think that is? Why do you guys think that is?
Because the government comes in and scoops it up right away and carts it off. And how many stories do we have about the Smithsonian coming in and stealing entire skeletons
Exactly.
of giant people, that are 10, 12 feet tall back
Yeah,
in the 1800s?
in Western Kentucky, back in the 20s and early 1900s, there were farmers that were plowing their fields and plowing up hidden mounds, skeletons, 12 to like anywhere from 7 to 12 foot tall. And they were gone in an instant. And all that farmer had was a story that a newspaper had come and done an interview with him. Then
Right,
if you look down the line, that's all it is. It's stories. There's no.
but you'd think that just out of by chance that at least one time something would happen in front of enough people that they wouldn't be able to do that. Like
What
if
about mall?
I,
That mall in Florida.
Even with even
That's
if you had 4 people that seen this so-called 12-foot skeleton, all it is a story without the 12-foot skeleton. It'll be 4 people talking about the same thing that they saw and they witnessed. It boils down to the evidence. If you don't have the evidence to back up the claim, then you can't take it as evidence.
right.
It's just a story.
Well, I'm going to ask ghosts, if there's any ghosts that are listening to me right now, just do us all solid and make yourself known. Thank you.
They're going.
Make yourself known for humanity. Thank you.
So you just
And
asked
say,
themselves known to you.
I just what?
You just
What was
asked
that,
them to make themselves known to you.
I
So
know
they
I
are
probably shouldn't have done that. I'm going to go to
careful what
bed.
you wish for. Careful what you wish for.
Right.
But even in that case, like we're on a live stream, we're all live right now. Nothing's being recorded. This isn't added from earlier or anything like that. You could have Ulysses S. Grant sit down on the couch right next to you right now and start telling you stories of the Civil War, and then he just disappears. That's not enough evidence, as odd as that sounds. Because somebody's like, especially today with like AI and stuff like that.
Oh, right.
You can't trust anything you see on a screen now.
That's true.
That's part of the reason why I'm doing my van project, to go out and try and document this stuff myself, because I can't trust what I'm seeing on the internet anymore.
Right. And even so, it's like if we document it and we see something, that's really only like, we know it happened, right? But anybody we show it to, people are going to always be like, well, you faked. People are going to always be all, you faked that.
I could go on my little adventure in the van and spend weeks on the road, and I could capture 4K full color spaceship coming down, landing with occupants getting out and running around and having a conversation with them, get back in. There's going to be a giant percentage of people that are like, yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, that's CGI, man. That's CGI.
Right.
AI. That is the reason why, is because of technology, AI.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Well,
so
like Susie and I disappeared a cloud, and it was real and it worked, but there's no way for us to prove that really happened, except for us, each other knows it happened.
And we did it. We can do it whenever we want. We tried it again and it worked.
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. we just like looked up.
We
We just both concentrated
We
with
turned it
intent.
into a heart first too. It was
Mhm.
weird. It really worked. It was weird. I was all, that just happened. But yeah, we have no proof. So dang it.
Dang it. Oh,
I
you're
feel like
muted.
clouds are sentient sometimes. I feel like
I
they're
think
aware.
everything's sentient, to be
I
honest.
think everything is sentient, but I feel like there's a lot of things in the world that if you like, I can, it seems like I can tell, or I feel that like they're aware that I'm aware that they're, you know what I mean? Like hummingbirds,
cloud?
for example. I feel like the hummingbirds in my yard, I feel like they know when I talk to them and I'm saying hi to them. I feel like they're acknowledging and they're also saying hi to me. Like, I feel like that everything's kind of like that. And
I do too.
clouds, I feel like they react to your attention or your awareness of them somehow. I don't know. Try it and let me know if it
Yeah, why
works
don't
for
you
you.
guys
Try to
it
mess
one
with the
day?
cloud by telling it to do something and let me know if you
Yeah,
can
you
do
don't
it.
even have to tell anybody what you're doing. Just like pick a little cloud and stare at it with intention and tell it to break apart and see what happens.
Yeah. Let us know. It's an experiment. Everybody at home too. You do that too, Bat Mom. Let us know
It's
if you can break
an
apart a cloud or turn it into like some circles or some rings, you
I
know.
don't even know where we got that idea. Why did we do that?
Can I use the
I told-
force? Look
Yeah,
at
I
Enzo.
said that we
Oh,
should.
no,
Get our mind
no.
straight.
Well, because I thought that I was building clouds, so I told you that we should go outside and try to disappear a cloud. And we tried to do it from inside, but it didn't work when we looked through the window. So we went
It
outside.
didn't work when we looked through the window. Yeah.
Yeah, and it worked.
Maybe it's you had to put yourself in the right environment, meaning like outside to
Yeah.
do that. So,
And I believe that we have to be at the right frequency vibration with our emotional state too.
Right.
possibility.
And somehow, whenever me and Jara are together, we vibrate very high, like very high, because we're just silly.
Well, you two have known each other for so long, you know, and you're close, and
Right.
and that could be something that
Oh, definitely. That's
was
immediate
right there at the right time too.
vibration. Yeah. Is Enzo on mute?
Oh, are you muted, Enzo?
Sorry, I was. I don't know how that
Oh,
happened.
okay.
But,
I was
when,
like, suddenly your voice sounds very quiet.
I still have whipped cream in my face from my party on Saturday, but I'll certainly testify that these two, when they're together, there is an energy about them. When we were walking around after we had what was the town there where we went to Jerome, Arizona. When we were walking around after we had dinner to the little shops and we're just looking in the windows and all that stuff, there was an energy there. I could certainly feel, especially some of those shops. I was actually getting bad vibes from some of those shops.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Which
I
don't normally get, but when I was with these two, I was certainly picking up on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we just went back in the early 1900s when the psychic revolution was going on. There was a set of sisters that done some amazing things, and I believe just like those sisters, these two here being so close could possibly do a lot of cool things together.
I think so.
Probably. Yeah, we probably could.
Yeah.
Actually, I know we can because, I wouldn't do this now because I have a different level of, like, I guess, respect for it. But we used to make Ouija boards and stuff when we were younger. And we made them very well. They worked very well.
Yeah, things would happen.
And what
were we doing? Somebody should have been watching us better because we shouldn't have been doing it.
I know, right? Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
We did all kinds of creepy things. That was the game that girls play at slumber parties where one girl lays down and everybody puts two fingers under them and they lift them up.
And we lifted people.
We lifted many people and dropped them.
We also used to like pick each other up by the hand. Like we'd get somebody grabbed by the hands and somebody the feet, and we'd do that and throw each other on pillows. Do you remember doing that? And
yeah,
I do. A couple times we overshot people a little bit too far, and they didn't.
Yep. It was always Michelle because she was so tiny. She would go flying through the air.
Right. Yep. And we froze people's panties with
Freeze your
shaving
panties,
cream.
throw on
And,
your face. Don't fall asleep first because you will be
right.
screwed.
I had so many slumber parties when I was young. I'm so grateful that my mom was awesome like that.
I know, that was awesome. I don't know whose house it was at, but I remember one time all the boys snuck over to the house and we got scared because they were scaring us before we saw who they were. They were like making scary sounds and we were watching scary movies. And I remember
Was
one
it
of our
Daniel Alexander?
that was all them. It was no, it was the other one. It was David Martinez and all of his little friends. And one of
Oh.
my friends got a butter knife and said, "We have to face our fears." That was Kendra. Funny time.
I don't think that was my house. Was it?
I don't think it was either because
No, I
it
don't
wasn't.
think it was.
I don't know whose house it was because I never went to that house again. But just crazy things, just crazy things. We used to bust open those glow sticks, the green safety glow sticks, bust
Yep,
them open with all that toxic stuff and rub it all over everything in
Yeah.
ourselves.
That
Yeah,
was
because we thought it
that
was
was good old days when we were young and
right.
Yep.
Well, we thought it was cool because you couldn't see it until you turned the lights off. But moms didn't think that was very cool.
No, they were worried. They thought we'd be poisoned for sure.
radioactive poisoning turning into the Incredible Hulk. I can see Susie now. Hulking out. Poor
Yeah.
Nikki running for the hills. Get away from me.
You know what? I'm surprised we were never really scared about like walking around at Flagstaff at night, like a lot. We did that a lot, and we were never afraid of ghosts or anything. I don't know why, because I always knew my house was haunted. I could just feel it, and I feel like I heard a UFO before. I know it sounds weird, but I heard twice when I was in Flagstaff. I heard this woo, 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 and it was like really like very. It was like a really strong like I could feel the sound. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Wow, that's crazy, Sarah. You never told me that before.
Wow.
I didn't. Well, I never looked outside because I was afraid. I didn't want to see what was out there. But it was really, and like my backyard was kind of scary. Like at night, I don't because we had like sheds out back and a dog pen that had like trees and stuff. So it was kind of. But I heard it and it sounded like it was like I don't know vibrating the windows, but it was like a. And I never looked outside, so I don't know. But
are
we-
you anywhere near where the
You
flood
look
was?
outside, that's crazy. You could have probably actually seen something. I mean, if you can physically feel, and we know for a fact we can feel energies around us.
I was afraid, and I'm glad. I was afraid to look outside because that house, I had a lot of like paranormal things happen in that house, and so
okay.
I was just, I was afraid. My brother and I, we heard something knocked on our windows. So both of our bedrooms faced the street, but mine was up high and his was down low, and something hit our windows one night, and like at the same time, and we looked out the window, and there was like, I saw like a head, like a head. And no, but I didn't see like a body or whatever. And so my brother saw it too. And my dad went outside and there wasn't anything there. But so like that happened. And then I used to have nightmares a lot I still do, but I had very vivid nightmares. Like I used to have dreams that the Doc from Back to the Future he murdered my family and tried to come get me at Susie's house. I used to have that recurring nightmare a lot.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
he was scary.
Wow, 1.21
Terrible
gigawatts.
dreams. Like I don't even know how my brain conceived of the things. Yeah, he was scary in my dream. He was not funny at all. Like he wasn't like. But I don't know how my brain such like how does a child's mind conceive of like the things that I had nightmares about like weird things. I don't even know how that happens. How can a little kid dream of such terrible things?
You know what? I don't really remember my nightmares as well as I remember regular dreams. I've always been a lucid dreamer. Just always. But I don't remember nightmares, but I do remember all the other dreams. Isn't that weird?
Really, that is weird.
Yeah. it is
Well, see,
weird.
I'm weird on the fact that I don't have nightmares. As far
Ever?
as I can remember, I've never had a nightmare.
What?
Scary movies do not bother me. I've watched some of the craziest scary movies, and I believe a lot of it has to do with from my days in paranormal investigations and stuff. You know, I've seen crazy things, and that I couldn't explain, and nobody else could explain around me. And then
You've never even had a nightmare that like where you're naked or something in the middle of town or
no, I've never had a nightmare. I mean, nothing
well, that's
actually
cool.
experienced. I guess I'm just my brain's wired different or something. I don't know.
Man, I've had this strange dream.
Your dreams definitely come from your subconscious mind, so your subconscious mind isn't afraid of anything. That must be why.
I don't know.
You're a paranormal investigator.
My subconscious mind must be a sick son of a bitch. Like, what the heck?
It must be. It must be for you to have nightmares. That that young. Can you remember? Can you vividly remember your nightmares?
Yes.
One was really creepy.
I remember a nightmare that somebody like kidnapped us, and I was trying to get away, and I can't remember if it was a boy or a girl, but I had something sharp in my hand, and I cut them, and sponges came out, like white sponges.
I feel like I remember you telling me that when it first happened.
Oh, do you? And then like the dream, I had a dream where like my brother kept turning into this evil lady that had eyeball shaped holes in her back, but it was black sticky goo inside the eyeball shape, and she would be this evil lady that would come after me, and she had these eyes on her, and there was like broken glass, and I grabbed a piece of broken glass, and I stabbed her to get away, and she turned into my brother, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then I was like,
you're talking about your dreams and stuff, I believe a lot of it, the dreams and stuff that you had were related to the paranormal activity going on in your home at that time. Because spirits, if they can't physically connect with us or get our attention, they have the ability to get into our dreams, our mind.
Oh,
maybe that was a way. It could be anything from like a spirit passing through, and it happens. Believe me, it happens.
Because they can get.
Maybe that is because I don't have dreams like that now. Like I don't have dreams like I did
when you're younger. Your mind is much easier influenced because we're not corrupted when we're young. Right. That's the reason why the Bible tells us that from a certain age, it's like the age of puberty. After that, it's when sins are committed, it falls on you. Before that, it would fall onto the parent.
Right.
So being young, you're not easily influenced. And I guess you could, it's kind of corny, but you're pure. You're not corrupted by the world yet. So it's a possibility that these entities were trying to communicate with you, and they couldn't do it on our physical plane, so they have to do what's next.
That actually makes sense. I think maybe that you're right.
When I was sleeping at your house and I had a bad nightmare, and your mom and I was crying in the hallway.
Yeah.
And your mom had to comfort me and put me back
to sleep. Pillow. Yeah.
That was at your house.
Right. It wasn't my house. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And I used to sleep with all my animals. Like I used to sleep with all my stuffed animals. I would put them all to protect me at night. Because like I knew that there was stuff in my house. Like when we had that earthquake that one time. Huh?
You know how your closet, your mom's closet and your closet like joined?
Connected? Yeah.
Was there something weird about that closet? Because that's why I always felt weird.
I don't know, but I dream about that closet still to this day sometimes.
Oh, wow.
I picture that closet, and I see this big black mass right in the middle of that closet. It's not tall, it's short.
Yeah, like a little boy.
Like a child. Yeah, exactly, Susie, like a child.
Oh, how creepy.
Yeah, I felt that since we were little.
How weird.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. I think you might be right about that.
And then later years, I threw up in that closet from drinking too much. Remember?
That's the reason why there's the black blob there. It's the kid's mad because Susie puked in the closet.
Yeah.
Right?
You need to clean your mess up, man. Come on. That was on my good Gucci shoes.
I had to spend eternity in this closet. You just came in here.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait for somebody, 50 years waiting on somebody to come and help me and puking in it. Man.
Yeah, that window too in our side living room, like the window, the high up window that was like behind that, like if you were to go on the side of the house, like the side that was next to Ann and Alan's house, like that high up window. I don't know. I didn't like that window.
And when you were talking about the heads outside the window, that wasn't actually a person. That was spirits around the area. Could be another pass-through spirit. But
well, when we lived right by Mount Eldon too, so like there, I don't know, Mount Eldon was like, feels to me like there's like stuff there or something. Doesn't it to you?
There, I would say there's probably quite a bit that's attached either to the home or to the land in the area, and there's a lot of pass-through spirits.
Probably. I mean, that the land, Olive Flagstaff, well, Olive right there, I feel like has in the past had a lot happen to it because, well, I don't know when.
You have an ability that you don't use.
Me?
She does, yeah.
I have a lot of those, I think.
I'm the same way, sweetheart. I'm empathic, and I used to try to block a lot of that stuff out, but sometimes it happens when you don't want it to. But if you can use those to your advantage, it can help you throughout life. I mean,
and you could help other people too.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I feel like I don't mess with stuff too much, because I feel like I have a natural affinity.
Well, you got a good guide, Susie.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm afraid that, like, I don't know. I have this weird, this doesn't make sense, but I have this weird, like, phobia that, like, I don't want to let darkness know that I'm here, because it'll try to get me.
That's just part of life in general. There's always going to be good. There's always going to be bad. There's going to be good spirits. There's going to be bad spirits. It's who you interact with and let interact with you is what's going to be the line that you will have to learn to draw.
That is true.
I was always afraid of turning it on and couldn't turn it off.
Right.
Well, that's what I worry about, stuff like that, because I wouldn't, I don't want to be like bothered by invisible people all the time.
But I do know something else about Jara that I try to tell her all the time. Like you don't even have to worry about that because you have such a bright light that they already know where you are.
So you're like me. You are what is called a light bearer. I'm a light bearer. When I go on investigations, and Marcella, my sister, would make me leave the room because she said I was pushing whatever was there out.
Yep.
When I go to another room, whatever was there would come back in. And she's amazing. And every time I'd get around her, it was like I was plugging myself into her, and my talents would explode over time to where it would freak me out.
Right.
So there's certain people like that have gifts that if you're with, where you're,
I've been around certain people that are like
keys off of.
I call them keys to my lock, and they like just unleash them.
Yeah, we're like that with our other friends too. Like when we're all together, there's a weird energy. Like, I don't know, maybe we used to be a coven. No, I'm just kidding.
No, well, maybe, yeah. But I definitely know that we've all of us, our little group, I definitely know we've had past lives together and that we planned to, because who stays friends that long?
Right.
Not a lot of people. And
no.
we've been all friends since like before.
Speaking of past lives, Susie, I've got one. This is a crazy story. I'll share with you guys, and I've never told anybody else about it.
Oh wow.
I know a girl that lives close by in the area who is psychic. She done a reading on me one day, and she says she didn't mean to, but she would do past life readings.
Mm-hmm.
So supposedly, I was a witch burner and killer during the Salem witch trials.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And I said, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to laugh at what you're telling me. I says, but I don't believe a word you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But she sat down and she told me, like for 45 minutes, she talked about it.
Uh-huh.
I just let her
wow.
talk, and I listened. And she said that I was a pastor, a preacher, but I was also a witch hunter. And I said, I'm sorry to tell you this, but there's not an evil bone in my body. I have a humble heart. I can watch commercials of poor little puppies on TV and I bawl my eyes out. That I don't believe what you're saying. I said, are you sure it was me and it's not somebody that was connected to me? And she said, no, it was you. So some people believe we have past lives. Some remember better than others, but I believe a lot too is we get glimpses from the past in our own lives.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we see it as flashes in our mind or in front of us. Some people can just pick up on it better than others, but
right.
Well, I think too that there might be a touch of memory to like things that have happened to our ancestors that are in us still, even though it didn't happen to us.
It's kind of like we get those glimpses, those flashes, whether it's in our head or physically. So,
right, and I think that very much. I think that there's something to that, very much so.
Right, and I honor if you don't believe in past lives, Jimmy. I honor that, and I honor you for standing in your truth. But I just want to explain something. So for if you do believe if some people do believe in past lives, what the belief is that see how nice you are and good you are now. That's exactly how bad you were in a different life. So you worked your way up to being this good. So like I'm super nice. Like I'm the nicest person you'll ever meet. So I must have been like Genghis Khan at some point.
That is the root of the whole idea of karma, is you did bad things in previous lives, and to improve your soul to make it better so you can move further on to higher planes or whatever, is you have to go back and live again and do better, basically, as you go on and on.
So then, well, how does that explain though, then people like who's a total like dumbass? I'm trying to think of somebody famous who's a dumbass. Like people that are totally evil or bad. Do you think that they haven't learned after all those? Who was that?
Kanye West.
Oh yeah, Kanye.
Do you think that the people that are bad right now, that they haven't lived that many times, or do you think they've just always chosen bad every single time? Or
well, the theories, of course, is certain people are just drawn to these bad things, and in order for them to elevate their soul or their being or whatever to go on, they have to get past that. There's always going to be those temptations, especially if it's something that they were akin to doing in previous lives and things like that. That's going to be that anchor around them that they have to resist to become that better person and then elevate themselves as they go through their karmic type lives.
I have a question for you guys. Do you guys think that there's ever been anybody who has reincarnated that has remembered that they reincarnated, or that continues to reincarnate and continues to remember? Like, for example, I don't know, Queen Elizabeth or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that people like that, like,
I think she's been the same. I think she was. I don't know.
I feel like there are people alive on Earth that know about whether that is whether it is a thing or whether it's not a thing, and I think that there may be people on Earth that pass that knowledge down to their their generation, their children or whatever, people in a certain echelon of whatever.
Well, Queen Elizabeth is a different. It's kind of a different example because she's a kind of a different being. Like I feel like so. All the royals, I feel like they're
like lizardly.
Possibly.
Just kidding.
Lizard people, I knew it.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. This is all for entertainment purposes.
Right. Right. You do hear of true Stevie B. You're correct. One of our friends, actually, Michelle.
Their past lives because they're still.
Like Michelle used to tell. We had a friend that told her mom. She told her mom when we were like, I don't know, like 6 or something. She was like, "You weren't always my mom." Michelle told her mom that she had a different mom before she drowned.
Oh, yeah.
We were like,
a lot of kids do that. A lot of kids do that. Oh, some of them are creepy. I was watching some of them on YouTube. There's a whole thing about it. Gosh. They want to go back. They're like, they didn't want to come back to here. They want to go back to heaven, or oh, it's so crazy. One of them is a kid who was a bomber flyer in World War II, and he talks about how he can say everything about flying a plane.
Heard that story.
Yeah. I know my son, when he was a baby, he would like a few times he was talking. We asked him who he was talking to, and he said he was talking to my grandpa or to Grandpa Jerry. I mean, he never knew my grandpa because my grandpa passed like before he was born. Well, my grandma passed away right when I got pregnant. Like I found out I was pregnant with my son 3 days after my grandma died. So when my son used to say he was talking to my grandpa Jerry, and he was born so close to my grandma passing, I always ask him now. I'm like, Noah, are you sure you're not my grandma?
Oh,
I always ask him that. Are you sure you're not my grandma? Well, because we had in our family, we lost 2 people or 3 people, and then we had 3 births in our family, and like we lost like this 2. And so I don't know. Like I've heard some people say that reincarnation happens in families, but I don't know. I know if I'm coming back, well, first of all, before I come back, I'm going to let everybody know that I can see you guys and hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm going to do that before I come back. So like, I'm going to put all the debate to an end. I'm going to be like, okay, everybody go surreal. So I'll do you guys a solid there if I go first.
With my schooling, when I went to school to become a hypnotherapist, a huge chunk of it was learning about past life regression and
where'd he go?
All of that. I know, he disappeared. He went into another life.
They teach you about that at SWIHA?
Yeah, I had like it's like most of the whole 2 years. There's something in each semester that teaches you about past lives and about a lot about spiritual stuff. You know, a lot. So I had to learn about that, and all these studies were done on children that proved just kept proving over and over and over again that they were remembering past lives.
I just don't understand why they erase, like, why is the memory erased? How are we ever supposed to learn something if we have to forget it before?
Because you are not your vessel. I know all this stuff, so let me tell you. You're not that vessel. You are the soul. Like, you're not your thoughts. Your thoughts aren't yours. You're the observer of your thoughts, and you are not that vessel. You are the soul within that vessel. So that soul within that vessel knows everything you've ever experienced in any life. But in this vessel, you don't. That's why that leads to your higher self, which is.
But if we could keep the knowledge that we gained in the last life, when we go through the next life, that'd be a lot helpful. God, just saying.
It would, and believe it or not, you do keep a lot of it. You do keep a lot of it. It does follow you. If you vow something in another life, if you vow that, like Scarlett O'Hara, I'll never be hungry again. That any vow you make in a lifetime will follow you all your lifetime.
So I'm not going to ever try to make fry bread again in my next life?
Probably not. You were like, fry bread.
I was so disappointed in myself the other day. I was like, I'm never trying to make fry bread again.
Yeah, so like, what's
Oh.
something I always say? I don't even know. I'll never drive to the east side of town over here in Phoenix. I don't like going to Mesa because it's really crazy over there. And I vow that maybe I'll never be there. Maybe I'll never
I
be
wish
there.
I could get like a meeting with God. I'd like to be a part of the decision committee,
It's
like
called
on a couple of
prayer.
things. No, I mean, like, I would like to be a part of the decision committee.
Oh, the
So,
decision committee? I know.
yeah, like, can we rethink the way that we do a couple of things here, sir?
When I get there, I want to talk to the manager. I need a grievance form to I need to have a few words to have with the big guy.
That's a good point, Stevie. What Stevie B says, if we remembered our past lives, we wouldn't be true to our current self.
Exactly.
That's part of the whole karma thing too. Is you don't get any free hints or clues when you start over again. You have to do it on your own. You have to learn these lessons on your own. And if you knew all the mistakes you did in the past, that'd be too easy. Because well, versus the old maximum, you learn from your mistakes and things like that. I would think that would be part of it, but apparently it's not. It's you need to start over fresh, and however your soul delivers on what you think and do throughout your life is what it is. And if you keep making that same mistake, you'll keep ending up in the same place and not progressing to that higher plane.
So if we're like a school and there's souls that are doing that, right? And like, so say there's like a certain percentage of souls that are getting better, and then there's like a certain percentage of souls that aren't changing. And then maybe there's some souls that are getting like worse. I wonder if they're in the school, like if there's ever a time where they have to be like, oh shit, this school is just full of assholes. We have to like do something because it's not, there's like too many. Like there's too many people flunking or whatever.
That's
I
exactly
wonder
what's
if there's
happening right
ever
now.
like, huh?
Right.
You
But
think
that's
that's what's happening right now?
right now is that there's too many assholes and it's gotten way out of hand. And that's what's making the split happen because it's just like it's got to die off and so that
Yeah, and they're like, okay,
boys
we've
are
got teachers, students are sleeping together. It's time to close the school. Everybody, it's just bad. All of it's bad. Let's start all over again.
Yeah, it's all, this is all for entertainment purposes. So
I think that
And of
maybe
course,
the school is hijacked. I think the school's been hijacked by somebody, and maybe like the way that things are going right now isn't necessarily the way the school was meant to be ran.
Jara thinks that God may be kidnapped somewhere.
I think God might be tied up and needs our help, everybody. I think that he might.
there's
What if, like,
there
what
was a
if he?
TV show just a few years ago called Legion that actually explored that very topic. That
Really?
yeah.
Well, because if you read the Bible and you read like other pseudo biographica and the apocrypha and all that, there's more than, I mean, there's, when I say more than just God, I don't mean to offend anybody, but there's a lot of spirit beings other than just God, right? There's a lot of spirit beings, and a lot of them are also, they purposely, willfully, all like want to challenge God very much so. And so like, huh?
People or spirit?
No, spirit beings. So like, I don't know, like, how do we know that God can't be trapped by something?
Well, I don't know. How do you know the spirits are challenging God?
How do I know that the spirits are challenging God? Well, if you go by off of what you're reading from in the literature, they say they are literally doing that.
Oh, okay.
They're like, we're going to bind ourselves together and vow to do this thing. And that's, they do that thing. They do that thing.
I don't know. They do say some pretty crazy stuff in that literature.
How you doing? Huh?
There is some pretty crazy stuff in that literature. Some horrifying stuff in that literature.
Yeah, there's funny things in there too. Like, not funny as in haha, but like relatable. Funny as in relatable things. Oh, I did learn that the Pharaoh of Egypt used to eat babies.
Oh, great.
In the book of Jasher. Well, he didn't eat babies. He didn't eat babies. Let me rephrase that. in the book of Jasher, it talks about his magic person tells him that in order for him to heal quickly, what he can do is if he drinks the blood of a child or a baby or whatever, that will help him heal. And so he from then starts having a baby a day.
So is
And
that
I'm
what
like,
all the
wow.
Illuminati, is that where the Illuminati got the idea?
I know, that's what I was thinking. I was like, so they've been doing it that long, huh?
Wow, that adrenochrome plan goes back a long way. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. 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 It's pretty crazy.
That is
He was not a nice, they also used to put babies in the wall. Yeah.
Why? Why did they put babies in the wall?
Because they were punishing the Hebrew babies because they were supposed to be getting rid of the boys that were born because of a prophecy or something. And yeah.
Because they were because Jesus was going to become. Is that why?
Well, no, he wasn't the only boy there was a prophecy about. There was a prophecy about Abraham also, and there was one about, I think, somebody else. I don't know.
I've actually never read the Bible. I've read pieces of it. But
Like listening to my interpretation.
terrifying. Sometimes it gets kind of terrifying and I have to put it down.
It is very violent. It's very violent. That is accurate.
Yeah, I don't like stoning people or like stoning them in the street, making them stay in the street and stepping over their bodies so everybody learns from their.
Do they do that to people in the Bible?
That's one time I read that.
Oh, do they do that to people?
One time, and the Bible, and I was, we were there a long time, all day long, and the Bible was open, and I was like, I'll just read this page, and I opened it up, and I was like, just reading it.
You're like, I will never do anything bad ever. Yeah, the Bibles can be kind of scary.
Well, we did mention a few weird laws, but we did veer off, and I don't care because I love it when we veer off because that makes for the best conversation.
There's one from Arizona that I absolutely love.
Oh, what is it?
In Arizona, there is a law that makes it illegal for donkeys to fall asleep in bathtubs.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that one.
Dang it.
This odd rule dates back to the 1920s when a rancher's donkey found a cozy spot to rest in a bathtub. Unfortunately, the bathtub was washed away during a flood, leading to a costly search and rescue operation to prevent similar incidents. Yes, they had to rescue the donkey. It was washed out into a lake, and they had to get boats together and people out there to try and wrestle it into one of the.
So a donkey was pushed out into a bathtub. In a bathtub, he was pushed into a lake.
They had like an old school style bathtub just sitting out in the yard.
That's
the funny. Donkey decided it was going to fall asleep in it and a giant storm popped up and it washed the bathtub out into the lake.
How random.
So the town had to spend a bunch of money getting a bunch of people together and boats and a bunch of stuff like that to go out and row out into the lake and rescue the donkey. And after that, they're like, okay, we're passing a law here now. No more donkeys falling asleep in your bathtubs.
Like that would ever happen again, huh? Like that scenario.
I know, that's pretty random. There was another one that I actually liked a lot. Let me find. In Georgia, it is illegal to carry an ice cream cone in your back pocket.
Well, that's good of Georgia to make that illegal.
Right.
It turns out there's a very good reason for it because there was a group around the turn of the century. There was a group of the 1800s, 1900s, that century. There was a group there in Georgia that they were horse rustlers, and the horses would smell all the sugar and all that stuff in the ice cream cone, or they might like even walk up while they're tied up somewhere and let them like lick on it a little bit, and then like tie them from the hitching post and just stick the thing in their back pocket, the ice cream cone in their back pocket, so they could see it, and they would follow around the corner to get more of that ice cream, and they would just steal the horse. Yeah.
Oh, how funny. Oh, that's smart.
That's smart.
Yeah, so it is illegal to carry an ice cream cone in your
I
back
can see
pocket
that.
in Georgia for that reason, because you're going to steal somebody's horse.
Huh. Yeah, so all the laws really do have a reason to them. They're just,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I found
Well, I
two
guess we
that
don't do
are
that anymore. We don't make laws, right, when things happen anymore.
I guess.
actually
Yes.
there's two that still exist on the books in the town that I live in, Kansas.
Oh, what?
I live in Derby, Kansas. It's a suburb of Wichita, and I ended up finding two of them that were specific just to my town. It is illegal in the town of Derby, Kansas, to abuse a vending machine that doesn't give you what you wanted. If it rips you
Oh
off,
my God.
you're not
Oh,
allowed to
really?
bang up the machine.
You can't bang it to make it fall down even, you think? Like,
Probably that's
You
why.
cannot abuse it to the point of damage is really what it's for, is because somebody tried to buy something and it didn't give them what they wanted, and they beat the crap out of the machine and busted it all up and stuff like that. So it is illegal to abuse a vending machine
that's
in
funny.
Derby, Kansas. Also, it is illegal in Derby, Kansas to screech your tires on your vehicle on the road. They
Why?
call it
Wow.
breaking traction.
Good.
You
Yeah,
get
I
a
think
ticket
it
for
said in Alaska it's illegal to use power tools at night.
that. Actually,
it's
for
loud?
Alaska, I remember seeing somewhere it's illegal to push a moose out of an airplane or something like that. I'd have to find it again.
That's funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of like crazy rules like that that are still on the books. There was a very specific niche reason for a lot of them at the time that don't necessarily apply today because it just seems silly. But that's why there are those silly laws on the books. At
Right?
the time, though, there weren't those laws, so people could throw a moose out of an airplane or put an ice cream cone in their back pocket to steal horses and stuff like that. So let their donkey sleep in the front yard inside of the bathtub.
It's kind of like those warnings that you see, and you know that somebody had to have done that in order for them to have a tag with that warning. Like, don't use a curling iron to curl your eyelashes.
Oh.
Like, that tag cracks me up.
Yeah, it's usually like one person does one stupid thing, so everybody has to pay. We had a saying when I was in the Air Force is one person shits their pants. Now everyone now has to wear diapers because one person did that. You know that?
Yep. Yeah.
Did you find any more crazy ones, Jara?
There's a whole bunch. You're not in Delaware or Connecticut. You're not allowed to buy silly string for anybody underage for a minor. In Idaho, you can't carry a red or a white cane unless you're fully or partially blind. Or Santa Claus. I'm just kidding.
Or oh. Stevie says in Virginia it's illegal to spit in public, specifically on the sidewalk. Well, that's good.
That's
I've
a good
seen
one.
that one in my list. Yeah.
In Illinois, you cannot dye a baby chick.
Diet?
So, yeah. You cannot dye
I
them.
think I ran across that one. It was specifically you can't dye them blue.
It didn't say blue.
Yeah,
Did
I
it
think
say blue?
they dyed them a different color for Easter one time, and it made a bad thing happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
It says it is
Again,
illegal
blue
to offer to sell, trade, or display living baby chicks, ducklings, goslings, or other fowl or rabbits which have been dyed, colored, or otherwise treated so as to impart to them an artificial color. It doesn't say why.
Oh,
Huh, weird.
I don't think any animal should get their hair dyed.
Yeah, in Scammania County, Washington, it is illegal to kill Sasquatch.
Oh, well, that's good.
It is perhaps a comfort to know that the bill passed in 1969, making it illegal for the furtive creature to be killed, threatening a year in prison or a $1,000 fine.
Wow.
Wow.
In Kansas, this is for you, Enzo. You are not allowed to use a playground if you are over the age of 14.
Oh, that's
damn
wow.
it. Hang on, I got to change my schedule here.
Right.
Coming up.
In Kentucky, you can't use reptiles in religious services.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. There are churches
Yeah,
that
because
have
they
the
have those
snakes.
snake
I've
ones.
seen these.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it says it's
Yeah,
been
that
in
was.
effect since 1942.
Yep,
Huh.
I've heard of those churches. They do exist.
In
In
Virginia,
Idaho,
you
there
can't.
is a specific law that it is illegal to indulge in cannibalism.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's good.
Every other state, of course,
Is
has
that not-
laws against murder and
There's no laws
homicide,
against
things like that.
cannibalism.
But it doesn't
Arizona?
specifically say you can't cannibalize the person out. But somehow Idaho decided we're going to add that in. So I guess if you just
Wow.
find a random body laying around, you can't eat it.
Oh man! Or if like you have a family member pass away, you can't eat them either. Then I
Nope.
guess. Darn it! They frown upon eating of your spouse. Well, in Minnesota, you can't be charged with drunkenness. So
Where's
Really?
that?
in Minnesota, it says in Minnesota,
Minnesota.
it's noted in section 34A-902 that no person may be charged with or convicted of the offense of drunkenness or public drunkenness. So
You can just
everybody
get
go to Minnesota to get
on
drunk.
there.
That's weird.
Good night, Stevie. Thanks for popping in.
Yeah, good night, Stevie. Thanks for checking us out.
Have a good night.
And in Missouri, you can't sell cars on Sundays. That can't be true.
That's one of those blue law things of
Oh.
if it involves Sunday, it's one of those blue laws where some local pastor said, hey, you can't indulge in high finance or something. I don't know, on Sunday.
Ooh. In Nebraska, you cannot marry if you have an STD, guys.
Uh-oh.
What?
Yep, no person who is afflicted with a venereal disease shall marry in this state. Is Nebraska
Wow.
Revised Statute, Chapter 42-102. Yep. Thanks, government, for watching out
In
for
North
us.
Carolina, drunk bingo is unlawful.
Drunk bingo.
Drunk bingo.
Apparently, it's legal in North Carolina to sell or consume any alcoholic beverage in the room while the bingo game is playing, but not
Really? In New Mexico, you can't dance while wearing a sombrero.
What?
Yeah.
What?
There's
Well,
nothing
actually-
illegal about wearing a sombrero in New Mexico, but start dancing in it and you're breaking the law.
That again that's got to be like the root. That's got to be in those blue laws like we talked about. Which that reminds me of the perfect example of the blue law is the movie with Kevin Bacon where they're not allowed to dance everywhere. Anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Footloose, yes. That's an example of like a blue law where the local constabulary has worked with religious leaders to say that it's sinful to dance on Sundays, or in that case, for that movie, to dance at all if you're below the certain age.
Wow.
I just found a weird one. It says in New Jersey, bulletproof vests are banned while committing a crime.
That's right.
What?
Yeah. That way, because if you're committing a crime and you're caught wearing that, then you get charged with that too, because you have to be able
Extra
to be shot.
charge.
Wow. Did you know that the state of Oklahoma banned tattooing in 1963 and they didn't lift it till 2006?
Really? Tattoos
Yep.
were illegal?
Yep.
Wow.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
I know that.
Huh.
In Tennessee, it is illegal to share your Netflix password.
Ooh.
Really? That's weird. How do they make something illegal that's like goes to
If you share your password in Tennessee, you could face fines, jail times, or if you were found to be the password dealer, even charged with a felony.
What if I in Arizona give my password to somebody in Tennessee?
Ooh.
Just kidding.
You're a rebel. You're crazy.
I'm a rebel. That's funny. How weird. What is this one? Let's see.
In
You can't
Baltimore,
fire guns.
Maryland, you can't wear a what? Gun?
Oh, you can't in Pennsylvania. You can't fire guns or set off explosives at weddings.
In
Well,
Montana, it's illegal to give a rat a present. What? Bad
rat a
news. If you're planning to
present.
give a rat a big sky country in Montana, it's unlawful to raise, sell, or give give away rats. Oh, to give away a rat as a present. Okay.
Oh, okay. I was like, why would you give a rat?
Why are you going to give your rat a present? I don't know.
There's one particular website I have where it explains why the weird rule is there. In Baltimore, Maryland, it is illegal to scrub your sink.
Why?
This seemingly innocent act is a violation of the law in courts as pollution, as most of the drains enter directly into Chesapeake Bay. So if you're using some kind of a spray or solvent or something like that, it's getting washed directly out into the Chesapeake Bay. So then it's toxifying the entire bay. So you're not allowed to wash your sink, I guess, where it washes straight out into the bay.
That's crazy. I'd go to jail.
Huh. In South Dakota, you can't use fireworks to protect sunflower crops from birds.
What?
Oh, you can't use well, fireworks away.
Yeah, and start a fire.
Yeah. Listen, in Missouri, it's bear wrestling is banned.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. This law was initiated due to animal cruelty violations and is still in effect today.
Huh.
Well, whoever's wrestling a bear deserves whatever that bear does to them.
Wait, what? This one says in Texas, you can't solicit professional employment.
What does that mean? Like
a person commits an offense if with intent to obtain an economic benefit, the person 1 knowingly institutes a suit or claim that the person has not been authorized to pursue. 2 solicits employment either in person or by telephone for himself or for another. That's weird. So you can't try to get a job? That doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
Huh. Weird. Oh, I know this one's true because we got busted at Lake Powell. In Utah, make sure you know your beer limit. We tried to take a keg to Lake Powell, Lone Rock Beach, and they said nope.
Nope. Oh wow, that's too much
beer,
took it.
Huh? Yeah.
In Louisiana, you are not allowed to have snakes near the Mardi Gras parade, which is a good reason for it, is because a lot of people are scared of snakes, and you've got people jammed shoulder to shoulder in there where panic may arise. And the actual parade itself has horses in it sometimes. And if they get spooked by snakes, now people are going to get trampled and stuff like that.
That's funny. Back in the 1800s in Vermont, they made it a requirement that all margarine or imitation butter and cheese was to be dyed pink.
What?
So your butter would be pink if it wasn't real.
So you could only use real butter there because isn't it dairy?
The margarine, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, that's funny. They enacted that law on May 23rd, 1898.
There's another blue law in Louisiana. Mourners at a wake may not eat more than 3 sandwiches.
Mourners at a wake can't eat more than 3 sandwiches.
This law aims to maintain respect and moderation during somber gatherings. It's another blue law.
Yeah. I don't know.
In West Virginia, you cannot use a ferret as a hunting animal. So like to help you hunt, you can't use ferrets. Because apparently they're good hunters.
And along the same lines in Indiana, you cannot catch fish with a firearm. You can't go shoot into the lake.
Can't. I agree with that. You can kill it.
I don't remember what state it was, but
that includes dynamite, firearms, or a crossbow in Indiana.
And it's shooting in a barrel of fish. One of the states, and I can't remember which one, says it's illegal to handle a salmon in suspicious circumstances. Is all it says.
I saw that one. I see that.
Like as in You're trying to put one in your pants, or like, what do you?
I don't know.
I have to go away for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Not getting
Yeah,
that
weird laws.
salmon. Stay away from that salmon.
Salmon's yucky, man. I don't like salmon.
I don't like the fishy stuff either.
Yeah, fish is not my friend.
So,
Fish
Jara,
is not my friend. Yes,
what was
ma'am.
the highlight of your week?
The highlight of my week.
Yep.
Probably watching Kiki at her cheer competition, which was last weekend. So that's always a good thing. It always makes me cry.
Yeah, I can't go to those with you anymore because I cried, and those aren't even my kids.
I auto cry at events. But yeah, that was probably, I have a highlight every day when I open my eyes and I see that I'm still here.
Right. I think probably my highlight of the week was when you were over here chilling with me.
Oh yeah, that was fun. Oh yeah, we forgot to play with her.
I know. Damn it. That will be the highlight of my week whenever we do that.
I cannot believe I bought so much hair. Like, why did I do that?
That's a lot of hair. That
I
looks like
know.
it's expensive hair too.
And I haven't even like hardly ever worn any of it.
I want to play with it, but I don't want to play with it without you.
I need to like fatten my head. I have such a tiny head.
I found one that looks really pretty. It's a ponytail one. It looks really good for belly dancing.
Oh really?
Yeah. That in your bag. And also Matt, I got one off of TikTok, but it hasn't come yet. But I'm gonna wait till whenever I get it. I'm gonna wait till you're here to put it on.
Did you get the clip-ins?
Yeah.
Or okay, sweet.
Well,
Sweet. Well, I
guess-
wonder where Enzo went.
I know he disappeared. I love it when he disappears. Like in his chair like that. It cracks me up.
It looks like daylight there. Oh, there he is. There he is. It looks like daylight there. It's pretty well lit up. I know it's not daylight, but
It's not. It's dark.
I think you're muted again. Are you muted?
Sorry. No, this is the ocean right here. You can see it's all dark. You can see that light going back there.
Nice.
I like the other bar. It's more scandalous.
The one that looks
the one in Florida.
Yeah,
they're always
Elbow
kissing
room.
or
they're always
doing something
dancing.
weird.
Yeah, they're going crazy.
Oh yeah, see, they're all partying now.
Yeah,
It's
that's
all lively.
that one's popping.
And it's late there too, huh?
Yeah.
That guy's like, turn down for what? Dun, 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 dun.
Jim
Yeah,
Goodall's going crazy back there.
That's his jam.
I want to go
Really
rockin' bowling, or what's it called? Midnight bowling.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when everything's
got all the
glowing?
black lights.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that. That's fun.
I've been using the last couple of investigations. I have a flashlight that has a black light on it. And I've been using a black light to look around at things in the dark, and you see a lot of weird stuff. Yeah, you see like where somebody spilled something on the floor and didn't really clean it up that well.
Yeah,
stuff like that. Is it?
Yeah, be careful going down that rabbit hole, Enzo.
Yeah, bodily fluids, glow in the dark.
Stains on these clothes.
Right. And if you live here in Arizona, you got to be careful because you might see some scorpions if you're.
Yeah. That was the worst thing I ever did. What's like someone told me to get a black light and go look out in your backyard. Yeah, I did. So I got a black light and went out and looked, and now I'm terrified because they are out there.
Yep. That's why they're called bark scorpions. Yeah.
So I guess we'll round it up. So I'm glad you had a good birthday, Enzo. I'm so glad.
Yes, me too.
Thank you everybody that gave me thanks for congratulations on my video where I'm getting like stuff smeared across my face and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so if you're let's show it. Let's see it because was it just a plate of whipped cream or was it like a pie or something?
No, it was like I think they had like a napkin with just a big dollop of whipped cream on there.
Oh, did you get pied?
Yeah.
Hang on a second, let me find it.
I've never been pied before.
Actually, my son has this game called Pie in the Face.
Oh, really? I remember that when that
Yeah.
came out, I think.
And and so it was fun. We played it with him, and he played it a
Did you
lot.
really put stuff on your face or on the pie thing?
Yeah, it's like a hand, and you have to buy whipped cream, the whipped cream, the stuff, and
Uh-huh.
spray it on there, and then something. What is it?
It smacks
Why does
you?
it- Yeah, there's a timer on it or something, and you got to pass it around, and it.
Oh, how funny.
Where in the world is it? Hang on.
Well, that was really cool of Jimmy to pop in and share his knowledge.
Yeah,
with us.
it was.
Yeah, that was great. Should stop by.
Mhm.
Stop by again. That was a lot of fun.
Yep, it was. He has got a lot of paranormal stuff he could go on. I wanted to ask him about if he was anywhere near the flood,
Oh, yeah. I was gonna.
the hurricane or whatever.
Do this and present. Share audio.
There it is.
Oops.
Yeah, we what happened?
Oh, that's weird. Why won't it stay up there? I'm clicking add
I
to
think
stage.
all three of us are trying to do it. Oh, look, he's got a sombrero. Hey,
Got a sombrero.
I know you weren't in the wrong state, right?
No, this was in Winfield, Kansas, the Mexican restaurant there. And apparently, after we sat down, my friends went to the wait staff. It's like, hey, you see that guy in the Hawaiian shirt? It's his birthday. Ooh, what can we do? And they're like, everything. Do whatever you want.
Oh, funny. You're turning red, Enzo. What in the world? That is so random. How funny.
That is funny.
The way she did it, she's like.
Happy birthday!
With that, happy birthday.
That was weird.
Is it a towel?
How funny.
She snuck up behind me and just dolloped me with whipped cream there.
How funny. Look at her face. She enjoyed that.
Yeah.
How funny. Look at her. She enjoyed that, Enzo. That's funny. Was the food
That is
good?
funny.
Oh, food was great.
That's awesome.
I think I had what did I have? I had the combo chicken, cheese, and beef enchilada plate.
That
Yum.
sounds good.
It was good stuff.
That does.
I need to eat dinner still, actually.
You do. It's late. Well,
I know.
I got to get off
I did.
because I have a class I'm taking tomorrow, so I've got to get prepared for that. And
Yes, tell us
I
more
want to
about the
thank everyone
class.
for joining us. Thank you, Enzo, for joining us. Thank you, Jara. Thank you, guys. Anybody
Yes,
who's joining
thank
us,
you.
please like, subscribe, and join us again. We'll have something fun in store for sure.
Oh, yeah. And we were supposed to put our stuff on our Buy Me a Coffee. So we're going to do that too.
Oh, yeah.
So check that out, you guys. Stuff
Yes,
that we make.
Buy Me a Coffee here on YouTube. Go check that out. It's gonna be full of stuff pretty soon, and buy our stuff because it's really cool. It's stuff that we made.
Yeah, I'm actually going to start making TikToks showing how I make my wire trees.
That's cool, dude. And we can also put those on the Buy Me a Coffee so they can see how you made it. They can see what you made it out of. Because Jara makes all of her stuff out of like reclaimed things.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So my copper was in an engine room.
Reclaimed cigar boxes, because cigar boxes are pretty cool. You can do a lot of stuff with them.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right, you guys. So let's call it a night. Thank you. Goodbye, everybody. See you next week.
Good night.